Loretta, he yells as I'm leaving the house, knowing I'm going and nothing can stop me. Loretta, he yells, wanting me to say no, no matter how bad we need eggs or toilet paper. He'll yell loud. It's nice. I like that about us being married. There's always somebody caring what I do. This time I told him, Jim, I'm going out for some manhead with all the fixins. And he don't know what I mean. Hell, I barely knew what I meant, the way that reefer treats my brain sometime. Jim usually knows when just to ignore me, so we laughed this morning about that. Manhead, he said, you gotta go to the Mexican market for that? And I laughed hard, the menthol smoke hurting the hairs inside my nose, and I let the screen door slam. Don't bother to shut the big door. It's September, but it's still warm. I yelled back at him, si, senor, still laughing, not thinking that would be the last thing I said before I went out and cheated on my husband. Si, senor, that's just plain silly. Think it'd have been something like fuck you, or rat-tailed fink, or something so sweet he would have never known. We keep the shades drawn, and Jim likes to watch court shows on the TV in the morning. It's hard to tell when morning ends. It's all blue light in our little cave. Morning ends when I leave the house, not like this. Up here, light coming through the blinds. Who'd have thought I'd run into little Tommy on my way home from the grocery store? Little Tommy, he used to drive that El Camino, all grown up now, dressed nice too, suit and tie, offering me a ride in his Volkswagen, and I was grateful too. I got carried away at the town and country, potatoes and apples being in season now. I like produce that looks like faces. Used to go in all the time and name every tomato I had my eye on. Talk to them all quiet-like as I checked for bruises. Sorta like picking out a man at a singles bar. This morning I missed being single a bit, and I had it in my mind to have a good old Loretta day and name all the damn vegetables in the store. After a while, the clerks start eyeing you funny, you know, you being in there and feeling things and not really buying everything. Today I ended up with lots of Timmy apples and Donny onions and a big old beefsteak tomato I named Montgomery. I was having a good old time in there. My manheads, my produce, even though the basket was heavy, my arm about ready to fall off, I just kept on and got them all packaged up, hoping Jim wouldn't notice how much money I spent if I cooked it up nice for him. Even bought him a scratch-off on my way out. I didn't notice how awkward I must have looked. 3 bags of fruit and vegetables and a couple of 2-liters with pie crust and this big old purse. Anyway, I hear this jazzy music coming from a car at the stoplight, and I'm just trying to maintain not drop anything across the street, and the music stops and I hear this voice yell, not quite yell, growl really, slower, thicker than the way Jim says it, Loretta. And it's little Tommy in his shiny new car, looking like he finally made it big with that appliance business of his. I see him in that car and my face gets all prickly, like the winds come up, but it's just me thinking about all those times I didn't let him take me home from the bar, and now here he is, all shaven and shiny in the afternoon morning, saying, Loretta, you look like you're gonna spill all over the sidewalk. Let me help you out. So before I know it, no, that's a lie, I knew it, and it happened slow, like when you're falling off a bicycle, the way the pavement creeps up like a big wave. We're riding down St. Lucas Street, that funny jazz of his turned up high, and all my manhead vegetables rolling around in the leather interior. Tommy says he wants to show me a good time before I go home and do the cooking and cleaning man bit, as he said. He wanted to show me his new place, you know, Sheriff Thotty for old times, and my hair is blowing out the window a bit, the leaves starting to turn, and most of me is thinking of old Jim at home, waiting for me with Judge Judy. But then the Montgomery beefsteak rolled onto Tommy's lap, and I looked down at it big and red on his navy blue slacks and busted out laughing. I remember that I'm having a good old Loretta day, and Montgomery the manhead tomato laughs right back, and Tommy's singing out my name a little, Loretta, Loretta, all grown up and married, passing me the lit J as we're going up and up into his place. He's living up here in the skyrise, got his own special parking spot and everything, wants to show me, said he felt bad, like he had to prove himself. Nights, I remember him running out of dough and me having to buy him beer at last call. I understand he wants to prove himself, so I just let myself. Good old Loretta. Just go in and have a look. Let a man prove himself. But I didn't know it was gonna happen like this. It'd almost be a night now and me not home with the groceries, stoned as a cuckoo bird and all stuffed full of little Tommy's white lady like a Thanksgiving goose. I'm talking like my mother now and don't even know if I can go back home. Not till I come down off of this this high rise. The squishy carpeted apartment, this shiny window glass. Old Jim probably thinks I got abducted or something. All my senioring and man-head talking probably doesn't think I'd go out and get me some real man-head. He's probably got no idea. I'll tell him it was a spaceship. He always says I was one step away from floating out to outer space. Me and my chattering, vegetable men and aliens. This is like space a bit, way up here above the street, and that new car like a rocket ship. Good old Loretta Day, abducted by space alien from the grocery market. Last thing she said to her husband was, "Si, senor." Man-head with all the fixins. All the fixins.